Hey, Jeanette Sizikowski here, your go-to Feng Shui consultant. I've got another real-life example for you. I wanted a new YouTube background and I decided that this was it because of the Feng Shui in my office. I also just got back from Dallas where I had a handful of Feng Shui clients, and it was so funny. The comment thread was, I don't know how to design my bookshelf. I was in these extravagant homes with beautiful built-in shelves, and the design of the bookshelf, what to put on the bookshelf, really intimidated most of these clients. So I'm gonna take you with me today as I redo this, create a new backdrop, and I'm gonna give you advice, tips, Feng Shui tips on how you can decorate your bookshelf. Let's get into it. If you are familiar with this channel, then maybe you have already seen the Feng Shui My Office With Me video. I don't remember the exact title, but I will link it here. The way I filmed that is I took you with me through the whole process. I showed you how I rearranged the room, why I rearranged the room, why I put things in certain places based on the energy I saw in my Feng Shui Bagua map. And today's gonna be a similar process because by the end of that video, I was having all these aha moments, and I think we came up with 15 different tips. And I have some preset things I'm gonna share with you guys today. Frequently asked questions on how to decorate these shelves, and what if I have deep shelves, and what if I don't want it to look cluttered? How do I make it look balanced? All that stuff. I've got so much advice and tips along the way for you as I do my own, but I know I'm gonna have some other aha moments and some other tips I wanna share along the way. So I like it when I take you guys with me. You can see the process and you can, just maybe redecorate your bookshelf while I redecorate mine. Let's get right into it. These are the bookshelves we are working with today. As you know, I moved into my grandmother's home, so you can see all her wonderful quilt stuff. I might turn on an overhead light, so the lighting might be a little weird, but it'll help brighten it up for you. And first things first, we're going to take down everything off the shelves. That might be an obvious one, to take everything down, but that's the first step. And the second step is to immediately put that stuff away. So again, here's everything we've got. Immediately put away the things you don't want, because then otherwise you're never gonna do it. If you redecorate, you're just always gonna have that pile of everything you took off sitting on the floor, right? And you're gonna be like, oh, I'll get to that later. At least this is done. We're gonna take everything off, and then I'm going to put things away immediately. I should mention that the reason I'm choosing this area as a backdrop is because in my room, the energy that comes in the windows based on my Bagua map is good for communicating, good for creativity, happy events, being seen. So if you have an Instagram, if you have a YouTube channel yourself, if you have any kind of business that you're trying to market, having the universe take it out, and whoever's meant to see it will see it. So this is a perfect spot for me to film as a second backdrop because I want to be using that energy in my business. Tip number 3 is look at everything you have. So now that you've taken everything off of the shelves, you've put everything else away, you have all the decor items that you want, or maybe you had them all on the shelves and now they're on the floor. Spread everything out on the floor. So one pile books, color-coded, one pile plants, one pile small curios, small objects. A curio is any of those like small sculptural items. You know, very popular is the gold ball that looks kind of like a knot, or now they do actually have some like chain decor that you see used as bookends and things like that. Those are curios. So make a pile of those. Pile of your larger sculptural items as well. So if you have like decorative vases, decorative urns that you like to decorate with, go ahead and make a pile of those, your large objects. For me, that'll be more like my globe. My globe will be the larger object. We're gonna go through how you decide what it is that you want on your shelf, but this is everything that I'm looking at that I think I want up here. Other things to consider as you're sorting your stuff. Maybe you don't want your books to be color-coded once you put them on there. The reason the color coding is good is because you can stack them and decorate with them. For me, the books I have, I actually am reading, consistently read, so I'm not too concerned about it being color coded, but I am concerned about easy grab and it's still looking organized. So if you don't want to color code your books, go ahead and put your larger books and your smaller books and categorize them by sizes rather than by color. You can even do it by topic. If it's not going to be your background, but you still want it to look nice or at least be mentally organized for you, then you can categorize it by topic if you're needing to grab at those books frequently. Another piece of advice and must do for good energy in the home, take off your tags on all of your items. If you have any new decor, planters, things like this, if you have books, anything, if you want to keep it and you want to say, I welcome you into my home, thank you for being here, thank you for beautifying my home, I'm so grateful for this piece, it brings me so much joy, cut off the price tags. If you have a price tag on it, you're still kind of half in, half out. Am I gonna return it? This is actually a tip I stole from Marie Kondo. Didn't steal, borrowing, or encouraging. She has great advice for organization. And I really liked her logic behind that. If it's in your home, you're welcoming it, you want it, make it official, take off the price tag. I really want you to take your time as you take everything down and sort it now, because when you put everything back, you want to really only put back what serves the space, what serves you, what is supporting your intentions. What you're gonna notice as you take down all of this stuff is you're gonna say, why is that paper shoved here? Why was this shoved here? I have never read this book. I'm never gonna read this book again. I don't need it. I can donate this, I can donate that. Who are the people in these pictures? They don't belong in my office anymore. So really take your time as you go through the objects and take them down so that you can just easily and effortlessly put things back because you know you want all those things to go back. So don't underestimate the beginning process. It's much easier to do all of that up front. One of the biggest mistakes I see many of my clients make is we make all this space and then they immediately fill it all back. And it's really easy to do that if you don't sort through everything in the beginning. Ask yourself if you really need it. Ask yourself if it supports your intentions for the space. Particularly if it's gonna be something behind you in video calls, you want it to support your intentions, your vibe, you want to feel comfortable other people seeing it. So really be intentional with the objects that you have up there. And don't feel the need to put it all back. Don't feel the need to fill all of the shelves, fill all of the space, because we want to leave room for energy to flow through and in and around, and we want that abundance to easily come in. Something I found along the way is, did you guys know that there is a Feng Shui journal? Here's 3 volumes. These are all very interesting if you're all about Feng Shui. I'm not sure if IFSA is the one that puts it on, but if you're all about Feng Shui, there's some really great articles in here or in these journals that talk about Feng Shui, Bazi, all things Chinese metaphysics. So they're really fun if you want to check them out. So I said I wasn't going to color code. I ended up kind of doing both. I color coded and sorted by size. So I'm just going to use what I have, and if I need to color code, I'll color code, and if it looks better by size, I will do by size. So first things first, take your largest items. I really only have one large item. I actually might have to go find something else to balance it out, but take those bigger urns, take those bigger sculptural pieces. For me, it'll be my globe, and place those first. Typically you want to put those on the lower levels, because if you have something really huge, really high, it feels a little top heavy if all the little stuff is at the bottom and something big is at the top. So go ahead, get your larger items and place those. Do plants last. You're gonna do plants last because they're often viney or flowers really fill in gaps. So you're gonna do plants last. I'm really realizing that I don't really have a lot of stuff at all, so my shelves are probably gonna look pretty empty. If you have larger things like diplomas, or decorative plates or anything large, you can put them in the back to create depth. For me, I kind of need to fill the space, but you can lean them in the back and then put in little objects up front. These are pretty deep shelves. And if you're like me, where you don't have a lot of stuff and you have deep shelves, then just pull things to the front. Not extremely aesthetic are these like loose books, but I don't have anywhere else to put them at the moment, and so I'm just gonna tuck them all into a corner. If you like the look of magazines, some magazines are really intentional, like Architectural Digest magazines, those are beautiful. You can just have the spine out and you can stack them. They look really good horizontally. In my case, I kind of just want to tuck them to the side. Play with if you want symmetrical or not. I have these 4 pieces. I don't know if I'm gonna keep all 4. Here's the other beautiful thing. Just start to slowly put things group them, feel it out. Sometimes you have to just start and then you can always remove and replace. I'm sure as this video continues, you will see me remove and move things all the time. I don't know if I really want a symmetrical look, but right now I don't know where else to put those. I'm trying to balance out the gold elements. So the globe has gold, the picture frame has gold, and all these little pictures have a little bit of gold in them. And so I'm trying to spread out the most predominant color that I have, which is gold, and put it across all the shelves. If you have loose papers like this is a book I'm kind of halfway through, Creating Luminous Spaces. It's really good for the Feng Shui enthusiast. She goes through and talks about the different elements in the space. There's like a quiz in there to talk about some elements that may be deficient in your space. I want this piece of paper with it, but probably don't need it hanging out of the book. And I probably don't need the pen in there either. This could easily be done color-coded or like in a rainbow color pattern, but then the books don't work. So group colors, but then ultimately you want them by size. It doesn't look good if you have big, tall, big, tall, big, tall, random small one. Color code, and then next priority is the sizing of the books. Keeping some of them kind of catty corner is good. Alternating between horizontal, vertical, also good. When you step back and look at the theme of it, you can see that, again, the gold is carried throughout, colors are balanced. I don't have all black on one side and all rainbows over here. It's kind of filtered throughout. I don't really want to go and frivolously spend on things that don't need to be there. I have plenty of things. I'm sure I have objects around the house that I can go in and add on here. I don't really want to buy an object just to buy an object. Although I did buy these beads. Obsessed with the beads. But I'm all about repurposing and reusing what you already have, because there's usually a sentiment behind what you have, and that's really important. All of this stuff I'm proud to have behind me as I film. And like for me, it's going to be, while I am doing YouTube videos, this is going to be my background. I don't want to have personal photos. I don't want to have family photos. I want to keep it pretty neutral. So think about that. What are you cool with other people seeing? If it's your boss that you're always video chatting with, or that always sees your background, what is your boss like? We dress to impress. How do we now decorate our Zoom backgrounds to impress? That's something to think about. Okay, I just ran around the house to find a little bit more. I'm pretty happy with how this is coming together, because again, we don't want to overstuff it. This side, admittedly, is feeling a little more full than this side, but if you don't have anything to put there, don't force it. There's no reason to like extra force. I found another candle that has some gold accents on it, so that's gonna help me carry it. I have gold in the book, in the frame, like I said, in these little pictures, in these books, in the globe, and so I wanted another gold. We have gold, and this area is missing a little bit of gold. So it gives it height, it does the job. I do like that these kind of make a frame or create kind of depth in each of the pockets. So eventually I think what I'll do is maybe get like a plant and put it right here. So like I mentioned, this is kind of just books that I need, grab notebooks that, you know, maybe they're not the most attractive, but that's all right. They're hidden in the bottom corner. Up here we have, so we have some gold here. Perfect Diploma actually has gold in it. That's ideal. Here, you make sure, first you look at, I decided to just group these like really bright, colorful books together rather than intermixing with the black. So you have these really bright, colorful ones that look good in a group, and then not in rainbow, just in size order. I distributed these 4 photos, and I didn't leave them symmetrical per se, but they still both anchor on the sides. Grouping, let's go over here next. Grouping in 3s is always a really good number. Doubles and even numbers gets really tricky, because then you kind of want to do even everywhere else. So grouping in 3 is a really good rule of thumb. Grouping in something that's larger and then a little bit smaller is also a nice trick. Over here again, see, just naturally like 3 books go together, anchoring it with an object. Where else did we anchor? We anchored over here. Continuing with kind of the colorful side. in the more neutral side. But as a back, that actually works since this space is taken. And the gold is really colorful over here. Here we go, here's the new YouTube background for now at least. What do you guys think of it? Notice how I bunched together all the heavier objects and created this nice sturdy base. Now you can see why visually it's nice, right? We have our heavy filler at the base and it gets lighter and smaller objects at the top. Comment below, what do you think? Did I answer all of your how do I decorate my bookshelf questions? If you have any more lingering questions, please comment below and I will answer them. And if there's a lot that I missed, then I will definitely make a how to feng shui and decorate your bookshelf part 2. Like this video if you got a little bit of value out of it. Before we totally wrap up this video, I want to show you another example of a client's home bookshelves I recently did. You know, my bookshelves are pretty simple, pretty basic. There's only 3, but this is an example of really high ceilings and you have a lot of shelves. She was really concerned at the top, them being so shallow, different heights and everything, and the base ones being different heights, and it's really nothing to worry about. We simply can just repurpose and reuse what she already has and consider what is in your background. In her case, she wanted just something that looked really nice and professional when she was on her laptop doing video calls. And so the top few shelves she doesn't even need to worry about. But before I get into that, look at here, she has some bigger urns, she has some larger sculptural pieces at the top, some picture frames. So I did the exact same process where I took everything off of the shelves. We climbed all the way to the top. I removed everything and then I grouped them I color coded the books. I grouped objects kind of by size and the larger items I put together and sort of color coded the objects as well. Now let's look at these after images. You can see that I just didn't even worry about the top 2 shelves. They're not in the video screen. She didn't have enough objects that she was attached to that she really liked or was proud of. And so don't overdo it. Don't fill it with things you don't like. Slowly, as you collect things that you love and awards and memorabilia from different life events and all that, then you can slowly start adding in the important things, but take out what you really don't like, don't need, what's visually cluttering. And if nobody's going to see the top 2 rows, don't even worry about it. So again, repurposing, reusing what you already have. We anchored both sides with the larger urns. She didn't want things looking symmetrical. She liked the mix, but she did have duplicates of a few things like the silver vases in the center. So we did just balance out the base, and then we created little moments in each of the pockets and different sizes in each of the pockets. You can also see what I did is I carried, in my room, I had the gold that kind of carried through, but in hers, she has little pops of the color black. And you can see how I visually take it from bottom cubby, top, the second row on the left, up to the top 3rd row, and then over to the right all the way at the end. And this is also how she finds in some like missing pieces. There needs to be another pop of black, and so now she knows when she's going out, if she finds a candle that's black that she really likes. Notice I also didn't put all of the plants in the same exact spots. Something really interesting also is her favorite piece is this jaguar sculpture. It is so beautiful in person, and she was like, it's really not me, but I love it so much. She loved this sculpture, but she had it so far away, very top shelf, top and then 3rd column. Like, if you love something, put it behind you. If it empowers you and if you are proud of it and it makes you smile, lights you up, put it where everybody can see it. Put it behind you for your video calls. So you can see now we've moved it right there. It's going to be right in screen behind her when she's on those video calls. There's also other little trinkets that she really likes, and we've balanced the crystals, we've balanced those objects she likes, and you can notice there's a lot that we aren't using. We're not using both of the lotuses because proportionally they just didn't fit, they just didn't look nice. We're not using some of the feathers of the picture frames because she didn't really want an abundance of personal things either. So I love the after, she loves the after. It's balanced, it's neat. We've spread out the gold, we've spread out the white marble, we've spread out the crystals, we've spread out the flowers. Everything looks very thought out, but it's all very balanced. If you have any more lingering questions, please comment below and I will answer them. And if there's a lot that I missed, then I will definitely make a how to feng shui and decorate your bookshelf part 2. Like this video if you got a little bit of value out of it. And if you're new to this channel, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because every Saturday I share with you videos, feng shui tip videos that help you transform a space that you maybe just tolerate into one you absolutely treasure. And speaking of feng shui transforming a space, have you caught the video about my dining room / sunroom where feng shui absolutely transformed my space? Go check it out.